Hey everyone, and welcome to the 84th episode of We're All in the Same Boat. I'm your host, Luke Roxwell, and Marvel has released the worst Marvel movie ever. Captain Marvel. We're going to review it. But today I am here with Michael.
Hey.
And Shayne.
Those were big words. But hello.
As always, you can check us out on SoundCloud and iTunes, Stitcher, and Google Play. If you want to help us out, go to iTunes, search We're All in the Same Boat, scroll all the way to the bottom. Oh man, I was on such a roll. Hit 5 stars. That would be awesome. Guys, welcome to the podcast. Let's talk about Captain Marvel.
Marvel.
So I kind of know
if you didn't see the movies.
Yeah. So I think everyone sort of knows where I stand on this film. I have a lot to say. I did go into it with an open mind, though.
I don't know where you stand.
I went in with an open mind. I really did.
How open? Like 30% open, or like?
It was cracked.
Yeah, really, it's just like meh, open. I kind of know where Michael stands. Shayne, I don't know anything about where you stand.
Yeah, Shayne doesn't say anything.
Because I saved my opinions for the podcast. Or what's the point?
Okay, first of all, I didn't say my opinion in the message. I was just saying a fact about how I felt.
You were starting to, so I was stopping you before you said anything.
Yeah, we were all talking about this on the group chat, and Michael kept starting to like review it, and then Shayne's like, Michael, stop. Save it for the podcast. So now we're on the podcast. So let's jump into it. So, how excited were you guys for this movie before it came out?
I was like not super excited, but I'm pretty stoked about any movie that I'm interested in seeing. So I was like, oh, I really want to see this. And then we were going to talk about it on the podcast. So I was like, all right, now I got to see it. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I saw it, and then we'll talk about that later. But I was mildly excited.
Shayne, what about you?
Yeah, so I just want to say, just for the record and for people listening, I have the perspective of someone who has never read one of these comic books a day in his life. So I knew nothing about Captain Marvel when, at the end of Avengers, when he sent the message to her, I said, who is that? I was, yeah. I'm sure people were like hyped up about that, but my reaction was, I don't know who that is. What does that mean? Is that good?
Yeah, it's like the ending credit scenes of these movies are getting more and more obscure. Like less people know about them. So you see the symbol, and some people in the theater are like, "Yeah, Captain Marvel." And I saw the little shape, and I was like, "What does that mean? I don't know what that means. What's that shape mean?" These people are freaking out around me.
Was told.
So yeah, but with that, so I was excited going into the movie because I was like, great, I can learn about a new person who's apparently going to be a part of this team and save the rest of the Avengers. So that was how I went into the movie.
Yes. I didn't really care. This movie to me looked kind of like Doctor Strange, where I'm like, I don't know who he is. I don't really know much about her. I didn't know much about him. I didn't know much about her. And the Marvel movies in general, other than a few of the ones that have been really good, they're just sort of okay movies to me. Like they're really good in theory, but I don't love them. It's kind of like there's like Liv Tyler, the girl in Lord of the Rings. I look at her and I'm like, she should be super attractive to me because I'm looking at everything about her and it's all perfect. But I don't think she's attractive, and I don't know why. I can't figure it out.
Her eyes are really cute. Her hair is awesome.
Yeah, I'm like, she's got nice hair, she's got a nice jawline, she's got a nice nose, nice eyes, nice skin. But it's just nothing.
It's because she has nothing within, Luke. You see nothing within her, and you can see through all of the fakeness.
Yeah, so I don't. That's what I feel like the Marvel movies are sort of like, where I go to see them, and in theory, I'm like, well, the story was good, the acting was good, the drawing, but it does nothing for me.
I think a lot of times there's like not a distinct style. Some of them have a distinct style, and it's cool.
I heard that, someone's opinion that I had watched, they said that they feel like Marvel has been recently going into their films, but like this film has a very specific agenda, and that's how they make the film. And thinking about this movie, I'm like, okay, I can see that. And then thinking about like something like Black Panther, I'm like, I can also see that. And because I mean, like, Luke, you didn't really care too much, right, for Black Panther, or you didn't think it was that great?
It was fun. It was good. Yeah, it was good, but it wasn't like a perfect. It wasn't 97% good.
Yeah. So I thought that point that they made was kind of interesting. I
Yeah,
can see that trend.
it is very. I feel like a lot of the Marvel movies feel very. It's almost like they're coming out of a factory, where it's like they figured out the formula that works, but there's no heart behind them. Like I don't feel it. I'm not. It's not.
Yeah.
I don't watch it getting hyped. Like I watched the first Star Trek movie by J.J. Abrams, the first one that came out in that series. And like the whole time I'm watching it, I'm like glued into it. I'm excited. The action's good, the movement, the character, the humor, and I'm really into it. And then I watch a Marvel movie and it's kind of I just am disconnected for some reason. So that's kind of how I went into this film. But I heard the reviews were good. People were saying it was good, and so I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna go into it with an open mind and just watch the movie. Like I'm not gonna go in with my arms crossed, like stupid
arms
movie.
crossed with an attitude.
Yeah, I really went into it with an open mind. But some backstory. Brie Larson was saying that she didn't want white.
She was
men
more
to
screaming to the world.
She didn't want white men to review this movie, and it's
Wait,
like,
did she specifically say white men?
Yeah, white males.
That's crazy.
She's saying there's too many white males as movie
In
critics.
Hollywood, yeah.
Which I mean, I don't know. I just don't.
That's why we
think
have
that-
Shane. So we're good. Loopholes.
Oh, well. But
But it's like I don't
that
know.
comment doesn't even make any sense.
It'd be like me saying there's too many female nurses. Just too many newborn men.
That comment
It's like,
doesn't make any
why?
sense.
It just I don't know.
Yeah, I don't thought that was
It's
weird
like
too. I saw,
you don't want it's. Sorry, go ahead.
after
Michael.
Luke had mentioned that, I was like, what? That doesn't make any sense. I looked it up, and yeah, she's saying like, not that I hate white dudes, but there's too many white reviewers or whatever. And I'm like, they just chose to do that. Women can do it too. It's like the easiest job ever. Anyone can do it.
honestly, and see that
You don't,
doesn't
you
make
don't even
any.
have to know about movies. You can just make a YouTube channel and do it.
Yeah. And see, that doesn't make any sense to me because now you're saying you don't want white males to critique your movies. So it's like you don't want someone who might not be kissing your movie's butt because it's not specifically made for them. So you
know, but
don't want
that'd be
you
like
don't want
me-
objective opinions on your film. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just dumb to me. It doesn't
Yeah.
make any sense. And I think it's
Not
a
a way to
marketing
promote.
thing.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Because then it's like if the movie tanks and does badly and people like me who have good opinions,
You blame it on
some
white
people
men.
would disagree. They'd be like, "Oh, it's just because you're white." And it's like, okay, here's the thing. I thought about
Easiest
this.
thing to do in 2019. You're a white
doesn't-
man. You can,
Yeah,
That's why you're
when
mad.
people criticize white men, I get it. Like I understand why they're doing it, right? But I think it's totally wrong, and here's why. Like let's take me out of it for a
Oh
second.
wait, man, this is.
I know.
All right, go ahead. Keep going. I'm just preparing
We're not
myself.
gonna go down this road too long. I just wanted to say this because I thought of it. So
Go ahead.
take me out of it for a second. Like it's not me boohoo crying about.
Yeah, no,
well,
look.
why don't I get to?
in general,
Okay.
yes.
My sons are gonna be white males, and so if people
could
are
be
going to
mixed.
discriminate them, I'm just saying. Like if I have sons, they're gonna be white men, and
Yeah.
if people are gonna discriminate against them because of their skin color, it's like screw that. No, you can't do this, and that's why I push against it because I'm like, it doesn't really affect me, but it's like, no, I'm not gonna have kids that are told. You're a white man. You're responsible for all the horrible things. You shouldn't
Yeah.
be European. Like, no, I'm not going to stand up for that. And so, like, my kids are not going to get that. So I push back on this stuff.
I feel you.
I think people attack white men just because they're kind of the only demographic that hasn't been like the minority at some point. So I think now that people are like gaining some self-confidence in themselves, they're like, oh, well, let's tear down the white men because it's their
Right.
turn,
Well,
which is
it
stupid. And it defeats the whole purpose of what people like women or like black people were fighting for before. It's like you fought against this and now you're just doing the same thing.
I do feel like it's justified in some cases though,
Hypocrisy.
because like I mean, like if you're in any country, it's not just white people in particular, but any country where like the ruling majority has made some bad decisions, yeah, it's their fault, and yeah, like they have some privilege. Like there's Japanese privilege in Japan, like there's
Yeah,
African
no,
privilege in Africa.
that's what I've always said. What if I went to China and was like,
Yeah.
the hell is up with all these Chinese people everywhere?
Exactly.
And it's
So,
like,
but
well,
America,
yeah, because
America is
that's-
different though.
Yeah,
Like,
I know,
we're
but
a melting pot,
it's
yeah.
predominantly European white because that's what it started. Now it's
That's who's
mixing. It's a melting pot, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like 70% white. And so
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, there's there's a lot of white
But
people
also,
here.
I don't want to get too into this, but I just want to say this because
I
it's
don't
important too. Like, it's always okay to well, not always okay. It's different to criticize the group in power or the group that's privileged. So, for instance, this isn't right either, but like, it's acceptable. People are not offended if you make fun of a skinny person, but they get really offended if you make fun of a larger person.
Yeah.
Like, it's just because a skinny person is like,
That
conventionally more acceptable.
yeah,
in
society deems that more acceptable. Yeah.
Right. So I see where a lot of people are coming from. I think a lot of people take it too far for sure. You just need to have balance, which is what
Yeah,
we crave.
I just don't approve of it. I'm like, it shouldn't be going in any direction.
Yeah,
You know,
Brie
if someone was
Larson.
like, if someone was saying, well, we just have too many black basketball players, just too many. Like, what's up with this? Okay, we need less black. It's just like, what are you talking about? What is this? This is so stupid to me, and I get it because there's a lot of white people
That's
and
the
so
world
people
we live in.
but I just wish it doesn't make sense to me. And,
It doesn't.
And it's more of a concept. It's like the concept of it to me at a core level is wrong. Where I'm like, no, you shouldn't. We got to stop this, and that means we all have to stop. And like,
Yeah,
I'm trying
it's-
my best to do my part,
It's discrimination.
but it's just a mess, and it's never gonna go away. I don't think it's gonna
Nope,
keep going.
not into the 2020s when an asteroid knocks us out.
Yes.
I mean, what? No, just kidding.
What if it was 2021 and then it would be like we got destroyed by an asteroid in 2021? You think we could have prepared for it, but hindsight is 2020.
LOL.
So anyway,
That's actually
this
really
movie-
good. You should write that one down.
I just recorded it.
True.
Okay, so she's saying basically she doesn't want me to review her movie, but I don't care.
Don't review this movie.
I'm going to say exactly what I think. Don't tell me what to do. It was
As
so annoying to me.
people
It's like,
should
I'm going to
do.
review your movie, and I'm going to say exactly what I think.
You
And I
should want
said it earlier.
honest feedback on your work. It doesn't
So-
make any sense.
To jump into the movie, the first thing that I noticed that I thought was kind of cool was the Stan Lee Marvel logo.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was really cool.
It's
Yeah.
a cool homage.
Yeah, I like that. I was just
Homage?
like,
No.
oh, that's cool.
Not a homage.
So I thought that was cool. I was
Mm-hmm.
like, so it started out positive. I was like, all right, sweet. I got got to see Stan Lee in the logo.
Cool, a white guy. Perfect.
I think I missed that. Yeah, the white guy she didn't want reviewing her movie. I was going to make a really terrible joke, but I won't say it.
Okay.
I respect Stan Lee too much.
Did you guys watch this movie standard 3D IMAX?
Standard.
There's no point in watching movies in 3D. I watched
3D
it
usually makes me.
standard.
I always feel like I'm like trying to figure out like, because my eyesight is bad. I'm like, am I like not seeing this right, or is it just blurry right now? Yeah.
I
But I
I
saw
have
them look
mixed
good in
things
3D.
about it. I didn't like 3D. Here's what I don't like about 3D. 3D makes me feel like I'm wearing sunglasses, where I'm like, I need to turn the brightness up. I
Yeah.
can't
It
see.
was dark.
Yeah.
So I don't like
Okay,
that.
so it's not just me. All right, good.
Yeah, I don't like that.
No, it's the world,
But
Michael.
when I watched Infinity War in regular, the CGI looked fine. Like it was fine. It wasn't good, but it wasn't bad either, really. It was just kind of like I could tell it was CGI and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when I watched it in 3D, it looked perfect. Like it all
I'll
looked
watch
like
in
it didn't
3D.
look like
It's too late now, I
CGI.
guess.
Yeah.
So
Depends on the movie.
I went to see this one in 3D.
Yes. Some movies they're like more made specifically for those type of things. So
Yeah,
pretty
I just
sure
noticed it looked
Infinity Wars
better.
was.
It didn't look.
Yeah.
It didn't look CGI to me. So whatever. So I saw this one in 3D.
interesting.
Start
Maybe
out.
that's
I
why you
guess.
didn't like it.
Yeah. What if that was the reason? So at the beginning of the movie, you obviously see Brie Larson training with Jude Law.
With Jude Law, which I didn't know
Yeah.
that was Jude Law until the end of the movie. Like I didn't recognize him
What?
for some reason. I know
because of his eyes.
Yeah, I think so. And I was like, wow,
The
great acting. I didn't even know.
Oh, yeah,
the
who's
guy
Jude
who's
Law,
fighting
right?
with her at the beginning.
Yeah, I didn't recognize him either.
Okay. He plays Watson in
Yeah, it's the Sherlock
Yeah.
movies.
Yeah,
in
he
the
looked way
Sherlock
different in
movies
this movie.
and- yeah, he's in a bunch
Yeah,
of
he
movies.
did.
but- yeah, I think
did
it's
not.
because his eyes were like super bright.
Yeah.
So this movie, I'll just start off by just starting saying opinions. There's a part where he was like, what did she say? Something about slipping or something, and then he's like, you slipped because I punched you in the face. And then she's like, no, I slipped before you punched me in the face or something.
She's like, yeah, I was already slipping or whatever.
Right, like she's being snarky and stuff. But I don't know. It her humor did nothing for me.
Okay,
I
yeah,
didn't laugh
I want to say that. So
anything.
the dialogue in general was kind of awkward, but the humor was like cringy the whole time.
Yeah.
It was not like it felt like they were trying to make Guardians of the Galaxy, but without like all the good stuff that makes it Guardians
Yeah,
of the
and
Galaxy.
and like oof. The editing, it was so fast. Like at the beginning, there was a scene where she was talking to the old lady. I don't even know what her name was. In like a vision, and the dialogue was just.
What
It was
do they
so
call it?
fast. It
Intelligence.
was
The
so
intelligence.
awkward.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, I was like, what is up with the editing? It was so fast.
Yeah, a lot of
I
the
felt
cuts, yeah.
nothing.
Especially near the beginning when she was getting like the flashbacks and stuff. I'm like, what's going on? Like,
They're like, how's the view? It's right there. Oh, was the view good? Yeah, it's better up from up there. It was like so fast, and it just felt awful. So I didn't think she was funny. I didn't like the dialogue, the editing. This is all the beginning I'm talking about. It was so fast. I literally in my notes it says I feel nothing. Shane, what did you think? You talk a little bit because I don't know anything about what you thought of this movie.
well, you actually you brought up the first scene to me, and I was just thinking about how, this movie has been marketed as this big feminist movie, and I thought in the first scene, Jude Law's character is continuously telling her, don't let your emotions get the best of you, yada yada yada. Control your emotions, control your power.
I didn't even think about that.
And then
she's
and then
so emotionless the whole time.
I thought about that. I said, oh, he's saying that because she's a woman, and women are more known to be emotional in these type of situations, right? And then so they took that and then had her have no emotion or barely any emotion throughout the entire movie. I said, are you trying to show that she's strong-willed and nothing gets to her? Because that's also not realistic.
No, because people kept in the beginning and in the end they told her not to be emotional. So it wasn't like she stopped being emotional, like quote
But she
unquote.
wasn't really showing any emotions
Right.
throughout
Yeah,
the
she was
film
like-
to
she was like a robot.
warrant those lines.
And it
Yeah.
always
She
seemed like
never
okay.
lost
Now
her
Brie
cool or
Larson,
anything.
I
She
like
like
Brie,
teared up maybe
but
kind of once.
I like Brie Larson. Like I've liked her in other movies I've seen her in.
She's in my
a
favorite
good
movie,
actress.
Scott
Like,
Pilgrim
I've
versus the World.
never.
oh yeah, she
never
is in
heard
that
of her.
movie. I forgot.
Like I had no. Okay, hold on. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, she looks
Okay,
really
that's
different in that movie. But no, she's a good actress. She's done really well before. But like in this movie, just nothing. I didn't feel anything, and she was not funny. It felt like she was acting. Like it looked to me like
Well-
Brie Larson playing a character. It never felt like it was an actual character to me.
I thought some parts were funny. I don't know if necessarily because of her or just because I found the dialogue in the script funny, and I'm laughing because it's supposed to be funny, and I get the joke, but maybe they didn't necessarily make it land. But there were some parts where she made me laugh. But overall, I was like, I never saw her as funny, but I was never trying to be connected to her either. And maybe this makes me sound sexist, but I'm like, I don't relate to her because I'm not a woman.
I don't understand, but I mean, like,
I don't even think it's that, dude. Because
I want to compare this to Wonder Woman. I liked Wonder Woman.
Yeah,
Well,
no,
That's a woman. That's a superhero, and I
Yeah.
liked that movie a lot. I thought it was really good.
So can I get my like kind of first impressions of it?
Yeah, go
I
for
did
it.
some stuff written down. Basically, kind of a lot of what we just said. Like, first of all, I give it a 4 out of 10. I think
Ooh,
I want to give it a 3, but I feel like that's too mean.
Oh my
Maybe like a
goodness.
3.7.
All right.
man.
But like it was just like I said this in the group chat. Like I was trying to remember what I wanted to say for this, but I couldn't really remember what happened in the movie. So I had to watch YouTube videos about it so I could remember what it was. It was just so forgettable. But like
So-
I remember people were telling me before, like one of my friends said like, oh, I heard it sucked. Like there's like a huge feminist agenda in it, and it's like super preachy. I was like, oh, really? Okay, well we'll see. And like I'm not against movies that
was
have female leads.
preachy.
Like one of my favorite shows is Avatar, and Legend of Korra. The second series is like a female protagonist. I love that show. I've watched the whole series like 8 times. But like I didn't really notice any feminist agenda in the movie. Like I heard about it, so I was like thinking like where it is. So I mean that was cool. They didn't try to push it in your face.
I mean,
Yeah.
I sort of disagree. I do think it was preachy.
You do?
It's like,
At all. Like,
yeah,
I didn't think
I
it
thought
was preachy.
Like if
Well,
no one had told me that, I wouldn't have thought
wait,
that at all.
I-
And even though
I
I,
wouldn't-
heard it,
yeah, me either.
I didn't even think it. I was
It's
like,
why
like
did you
when
think it was
you-
preachy, Luke?
Well, so like, it starts off with like a bunch of men telling her over and over again, like, you're not good enough, you're not going to make it.
Yeah.
And like, I
Yeah, that was,
know
like,
that I
one-
know.
The girl also
Hold
told her
on.
that she sucked too.
Hold up. So I know that could easily just be like, well, she's in the army, so obviously it's going to be a guy because usually the men are the one, right? So that,
Yeah.
but I also know that they're trying to tell me that message.
Yeah, I know.
Just like when I don't want to talk about the ending yet because I don't want to get into spoilers right away. But at the ending, like that whole monologue at the very end between the two, at that fight, at the very end,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that 100% was a message. And then you can just tell, like, I don't know how to explain it.
I mean, I'm sure it was
Exactly.
in there, but it actually felt, if it was there, either they failed at it or it was tasteful, because I didn't really pick it up. And I was
Yeah.
already like 10 minutes in the movie, I was like, this movie's lame. So I would have been happy if I saw it.
Well, I went into it knowing that there was going to be some type of, empowerment type of thing. So me already having that mindset, I was like, yeah, okay, I can see what they're trying to do. I can picture, and I think maybe this is because I work with kids, so I'm closer to like their minds or something, but I kind of can see how younger girls are going to react to this or look up to or get inspired by. So I have that mindset a little bit, so that's why it didn't really seem preachy to me. I'm like, yeah, that seems like something that they would say to their target audience, which is
It's
not
like it's not. It wasn't as bad as some movies were. I just know that there's like a message to it.
Yeah.
And it,
I mean,
what
that's not always
I
bad.
don't. Well, hear me out. Like, I don't mind. Like, I don't mind movies that have a message to it, but sometimes when it's like too obvious and it gets annoying to me, where if I had like a superhero and I was like, look, the whole point of this movie is to show what a great person this guy is. Look he's helping a lady cross the street. Look, he's giving money to the church. And see how good of a guy he is. He's such a good guy. After a while, you're like, all right, stop. I get it. You're just spelling it out. It's annoying.
Yeah.
It's too much, And
He's
so
saying they
with this
kind of
movie, it's
overkilled
like,
it.
look how strong she is. Look how she's a woman and she's strong. Look how women are so strong. Oh, man,
I didn't get that
screw
at
the
all.
men.
I can
Like,
see that.
and it just
Well, I
keeps
can kinda
going.
see
And I'm
that.
just show me a cool movie with good characters. I don't.
Well, so
What is
Well,
this?
that's the biggest
empowerment.
thing.
It's too much. It's
That's
preachy.
the biggest, that's the biggest thing. I kind of agree with what Luke just said, and that the fact that they kept doing stuff like that, it never allowed her character to really grow. Like, she's kind of the same person from the beginning of the film to the end of the film. She just knows a little bit more about her life. Oh, I almost spoiled something. But she kind of no, I almost said something after that. But
If we do spoil it, honestly, listeners,
hey,
there
spoilers
might be
ahead.
spoilers, but I'm just trying to keep them closer to the end.
she almost I feel like there's not any character growth. It's like, I'm gonna show them the whole time that I'm a strong, independent woman who can fight off 20 soldiers with handcuffs, numbing my powers.
Well, see, that was the weird thing. So I watched it with my girlfriend, and
Which
she's
I thought
like-
was a cool scene. I did think that was a cool scene.
that actually was like, I had a list of pros, and that's one of my favorite. That's one of the pros. That was a cool scene. But like, I was watching with my girlfriend, and she's not necessarily down with like the quote unquote feminist movement, whatever. But she's like an athlete, so she like likes to be perceived as strong, and she likes like women who are like tough and not trying to like be all
Yeah.
wimpy, whatever. And she even said, like, I asked her if she noticed any like feminist stuff or like if she thought it was preaching at that. She's like, nah, if it did, it failed because they didn't make Captain Marvel. She wasn't like tough or sassy or like cool or like badass. She was just like, oh, like I don't really do anything and I tell bad jokes.
I thought they were
and
trying to
shoot
do
mega
all of
lasers
that.
for no reason.
Like, she was
Yeah, they
sassy,
did, but it
she
failed.
was tough.
She was
and
sassy, but it always just bombed. I never laughed at her.
Really?
One time.
Well, it's like
I liked
she
her.
goes.
I kind of liked her.
She goes.
snarky
Dude,
sass.
she
and
was
when
so awkward,
she
man.
has those things on her hands, and then she's like, "You guys wouldn't happen to know how these things come off, would you?" No, fine. And it just like
Yeah, I didn't like that, yeah.
And, like
It
the
wasn't
writing,
funny.
I get
No
the
joke.
writing, but
The writing was
delivery is
bad.
everything. Like nothing
Yeah.
she did made me like
The
go.
writing was crap, dude. Like,
Yeah.
it was even the other characters, even Nick Fury, like he's
Yeah, some people said he was good. He was not.
he was good, but even his lines were like trashed. Like compared to like what he says in other movies, like I don't know, the whole dialogue to me felt awkward, and the jokes were like cringy, especially Brie Larson.
Yeah.
Like they were just bad. Like there's that one scene. This isn't a spoiler, but like all these bad guys are coming towards her, and she had the thing they were looking for, and she goes, "Oh, do you guys want to play? Do you guys want to arm wrestle for it?" Like that didn't even make any sense. They're sitting on a bridge. Like I don't know, it was just random jokes. Like she's trying to be like all Iron Man mixed with Thor, and it
Yeah.
just,
Yeah,
it was
a
just-
lot
it
of
was just
people.
awkward.
Speaking
man.
of Iron Man, a lot of people said that this, or that I watched and read, said that this movie felt like a Phase 1 movie. Like it felt like it was
it
made around like
definitely did.
Iron Man time. But do you
But
think
this
that,
was worse
I know,
than Phase
but
1.
yes, but do you think that's because this happens before Phase 1 and they purposely made that? Because I really do like that it was set in the 90s, and maybe that's just because of my nostalgia boner. But
Blockbuster!
yeah, like I was hyped when I saw Blockbuster. I was like, I'm into this movie.
hilarious.
We were in Blockbuster. I used to go there all the time. I was hyped.
But then they didn't really own it. Like it didn't do that
Yeah.
much with the
They had a
90s
little bit
afterwards.
of
They had it
in
for
the
like
beginning,
10
random
minutes, and
music.
they did play a lot of 90s music throughout the movie,
Right.
which I really did appreciate. And I kind of don't like, but kind of do like that it was all female kind of artists that they played. I was like, okay, I like that they're consistent with their message, but there were also some really good songs by white males in the 90s that they could have put.
Well, they did have
they did
that
Nirvana.
Nirvana song,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
which is so weird though, because
I did notice they were all like female 90s songs.
I was paying attention to
What's
stuff
so
like
weird
that.
though is that they didn't own it. Like Guardians
it
of the
wasn't,
Galaxy
like,
had
yeah.
that, like all that music, and they own it, and it owns it well. This movie, it's like they sort of did it, but not
They
exactly.
committed for
and
like
so, like
10
when she was
minutes.
fighting, what song is she singing? Or what song is going on when she's fighting at the end?
I'm Just a Girl by
Yeah.
No
and
doubt,
so it's like,
yeah.
oh,
No
okay,
doubt.
but then it just didn't
why I
quite
call it Outcast.
work. It was
No,
almost
it
cool,
didn't fit in the mood at all, dude.
and I was like, it just.
That was a
Oof.
feminist.
After
That was
Guardians,
a feminist agenda.
it was
like
just
Guardians
rough.
or Thor Ragnarok. Like I can
Yeah.
imagine
Yeah.
that song. I can imagine that song playing in Thor Ragnarok and fitting. Like the
People were like, "This is an intro movie." I'm like, "Yeah,
and
but
Thor's like shooting
Guardians,
lasers and stuff.
Guardians
But
was an intro movie, and like
Yeah.
Guardians was insanely good.
Guardians was its
awesome.
own.
Guardians
its
might
own
be the
beast.
best
Yeah,
Marvel movie.
Yeah,
it was definitely its own beast.
I'd give it
And
that.
this-
Second, second
here's the
movie
thing.
can't compare.
I was thinking about this, and I said at the beginning, I think this might be the worst one. I literally wanted to leave. I was sitting there
it was
and not
definitely
enjoying the
worst
movie
Marvel
at all.
100%. I enjoyed making fun of it.
Oh well, I don't know about that.
So Blockbuster, I thought I was kind of interested that this one took place in Los Angeles. That was kind of cool because it's just different. Most of the other ones seem to take place in New York.
New York. Yeah, we're tired of New York getting destroyed. Come on.
Yeah. The grandma scene, fine, I guess. Could have been funnier.
What?
I thought it could have been so much funnier
What grandma scene?
when she's
When
fighting
she's
the
chasing
grandma.
that scroll that turns into a grandma, like in the trailer.
Oh yes.
But it could have been
I was
so
kinda
much
laughing.
funnier.
It was,
thought
it was kind of funny.
but it was,
I was more laughing at the
it could have.
people.
Yeah, the reactions were funny.
I was more laughing at like the extras in this scene because I was just thinking about being on a subway and this actually happening. This girl is beating up this lady, but I'm like, don't they
Yeah.
notice that this old lady is doing ninja flips and she's somehow this martial artist?
And
That's
Mega
what.
Strong.
combat
But that's
fighter.
where I'm thinking it could have been so much funnier. Like
I
maybe,
think I was
like,
laughing at it, not laughing. 'cause it was funny.
Imagine like the grandma, like a guy jumps in to try and help the grandma. He's like, back off of her. And then the grandma does like 3 backflips. And they kind of standing there and he looks at both of them. And he's like, okay, I don't know who to protect now.
Yeah, go
You know, like something like that. But they didn't do anything like that. It's like they had a good idea. It was a good concept, but they missed it. And that is so frustrating to me
Yep.
because then it's
lame.
it's like a near miss and it ruins it,
Yeah.
It's one thing to have a complete miss. Like, I think this movie could have been good.
Yeah. Could have been. Also, at the end, I don't know. I'll give a spoiler. I'll talk about this later.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well,
like the story. It felt like there was like no real story. Like not like well, there was a story, I guess, but no like progression. Because whenever something changed in her life, she just accepted it. Like there's about probably 2 major twists in the movie, and
Well-
both times, and they both like changed everything. And both times she's like, oh, well, this is what we're doing now. Okay.
yeah, it was like nothing. There's
Well-
nothing.
I can kind of, again, I can see that just maybe because of the agenda, but it's like she's on a mission, and I think she has that mindset. So I think she's also trying not to let things get to her too much, because even all like the stuff, the scenes with her friend, like her best friend, like all of those scenes kind of, I didn't even know really felt like they were friends at all. Even when
Yeah.
she got memories back of it, I'm like, these scenes are so emotional, and I can see you trying to emote this emotion. I can see you trying to do it with your acting, but y'all don't seem like friends to me.
Yeah, let's talk
the only
about
good
the
people in that scene was that little girl. I like the girl. She was all committed.
Yeah,
She
I was
like,
gonna say let's
I love
talk
you.
about let's talk about all the actors and actresses.
Okay.
Brie Larson, not good.
Yeah, I don't know.
The
anyone.
I
friend.
think she's a good actor. I think she's like a serious actor.
I thought
not like
she.
In this movie,
I thought
though.
she was decent. I'm not in that boat of that. She was
No.
awful.
I don't think she's a bad actor.
That's-
I think her lines are just really bad. Like they didn't give her like a clear
Look,
direction.
Okay, all I'm looking at
Because
is
it's true. We don't know
the
if it's her
character in the
choices.
movie. The character. Look, I'm not saying Brie Larson is responsible for this movie being
But
bad.
she is.
I'm saying,
Just kidding.
yeah, I'm saying
why you-
when I watched this movie, the character that she played, awful. It was just not good to me.
You don't. So I mean, you don't like the character.
Yes.
I think it goes without saying. It could be the director, it could be the writing, it could be the acting.
Yeah.
But I'm not going that far. I'm
You're
just
not gonna
saying
pinpoint. Yeah. You're
she
saying
was
you don't
not good in this movie. I don't know whose fault it was because she's a good actress, so it could have
Yes.
been the writing directing. The Friend, not good at all. I did not like The Friend at all. I thought she was horrible.
I liked her teeth. Were
She was
very
like a
white
stage actor.
and very pristine. I noticed that a lot. I was like, she has great.
Shane, I want to watch a movie. I need to watch my next movie with you, Shane.
I'm a great movie watcher.
Shane, tell me what you see. What do your elf eyes see?
I like the teeth. I thought her friend was awful. She was like a stage. She was like a play actor. I thought she was on
better
stage.
actress than Brie Larson. Not better than Brie
she
Larson.
did that
Brie, but,
thing.
Her character
She
was
had
better
one
than Brie.
moment, one good moment when she started to cry. That was it. Everything else was horrible.
I think that's the moment I'm about to talk about. She does this thing, and maybe just because I'm an actor and I know like the techniques and stuff, but she did this thing when she first met her. She was explaining when she's like, you know who you are. You're blah 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 blah. My best friend, the person who yada 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 yada. I said, what is this? Like, are you giving her a pep talk? Are you trying to preach like she doesn't know who she is? Like, why are you talking like this? She's right in front of your face. You're at your house. You're inside with a cup of coffee. Why? You are my best friend. You were the best pilot that flew in the sky.
Exposition,
I'm like,
Shane.
I know she's like explaining it to the
why
audience.
she explain,
You
right?
never would take chances before, and it's like, yeah, she probably knows that. Why is she telling the audience?
I'm like,
that?
why are you telling her like that?
Yeah, that's like always every
good.
movie. Awkwardly
Yeah.
explaining things.
But I just felt like everything she was saying sounded rehearsed, and it like that scene.
Well, it was.
I just felt nothing. I know, but it felt it. You know,
Yeah,
like
you could
I just
see it.
felt nothing. I didn't feel like this emotion of like, oh, she's been gone for 5 years. They're connecting. She thought she was dead. She's broken down. Now they're coming back, but she doesn't even remember her. All these
Yeah, it was
dynamics,
like
and I
not really.
felt nothing.
Yeah, I would have been a lot more like, that's not how I would have reacted to my best
Yeah, for
friend
real,
coming
dude.
back if I thought that she was dead for years.
She's like shocked for like 1 second, and the daughter is like,
But
"Oh, I told you she wasn't dead," and then she's just like, "Oh yeah, you're here,"
and they kind of
it's
just
like,
move on. Yeah.
She thought she blew up. You know, it wasn't like
Yeah.
she went missing in the woods.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
that
it's dumb.
yeah, they had that scene. What they could have, they had more. I think if they had more scenes, it would have been a little better. But it all just seemed like a very short, condensed. Hey, we're friends
like a
again. Hey, you
TV
want to do
show.
this thing? Yeah.
Well, I think they
This is
tried to
not
do
good.
it in the flashbacks, but it didn't really work.
But no,
Even
I didn't-
Samuel Jackson?
Even in the flashbacks.
Oh, go
yeah.
ahead.
No, I was gonna say even in the flashbacks, they kept talking about her friend. I'm like, okay, well, I don't know her. And then when they meet, it's like, okay, I don't even feel like you guys were friends.
They're
Yeah.
like stock characters. Where
Yeah,
it's like,
you should
why
be able to
do I like this
feel-
friend?
Yeah.
The
Why
only
do I like
person.
this friend.
Seriously, like, what about her? It's just like, oh no, you're supposed to like her because we told you that she's her best friend, and that's it. And it's like, how? I don't feel anything, you know. So Samuel Jackson, I don't think was very good in this either. He wasn't awful, but he wasn't good either.
I like that
really.
he was young.
Dude, yeah, the de-aging
I thought that
They
was,
did.
was
they-
so-
that was insane.
I was so
Like,
shook when I
I
first
did
saw it. I
not
said,
know.
whoa.
Like, if I didn't know that he was like old now, I would not have known
Yeah.
it was an old guy. That
And
was
shout out
amazing.
to Samuel. I just want to give, even if people don't think he was good in the movie, I just want to say
I just don't think he was good.
I know. I'm just saying I just want to give him props for like his age and his commitment and being in all of these films and making all of this money. And I'm just like, wow. I'm like, he is really dedicated to this franchise, and I'm gonna applaud that. So
I want to get through the actors because Samuel Jackson I didn't think was very
Sanders.
good. He was just, and then
I
Jude Law.
I think he was the best
Jude
character
Law.
in the
I
movie.
thought he was just himself. Whatever.
No, well, hold on.
He always plays himself.
Let me get this out.
Exactly.
Let me
Whatever.
let me get this out real quick. So Jude Law, I thought he wasn't bad. Like I thought he was fine,
good.
but I also didn't feel that much. I didn't feel his rage. I didn't feel connected to him. I didn't really know why he was doing the stuff he was doing. Right.
I really liked him all the way up until that last bit that he had with Brie Larson, and then I was like, wow, you just threw your entire character out the boat for me. I was like, I don't care about you anymore. When he like, kind of threw his arms up, I said, oh, I'm done. I said, this is stupid.
The only
dumb.
person, the only character that I thought was good was Ben Mendelsohn, the guy who
I
played.
thought you were going to say the cat.
No.
Well, the cat
No,
was
the
played
guy-
by 4 cats, so that doesn't count.
Yeah, really, that's cheating. No, Ben Mendelsohn. He's the guy who played the what are those creatures called?
Oh,
The
Skrull?
Skrulls.
Yeah, he
played
played
the
the main
Australian
Skrull.
alien?
He was the only one. He was
He
the
was pretty
only
good.
character that I thought was good.
Side
I
note.
liked him.
Why do all aliens always have or aliens or anybody from the past have British or Australian accents? Like the Mummy freaking has a British accent, and he was dead before Britain even existed. Like every movie, every space movie, every medieval movie, no matter where they are, it
Yeah,
always
I don't know.
bothers me. We can keep going. That's it.
Yeah, the alien with an accent was kind of odd.
got an
but I
Australian
did,
accent for
He
some
was the only one that I felt for. He was the only one that I thought was charming. He was the only one that I connected with.
Because he's the only one that had a motivation and a heartwarming story and something really to care for and fight for.
Yeah. I don't know what it
telling you,
was.
When they got up, I don't know if this is a spoiler, so I won't say exactly what it is. When they got to
We
the
can start spoiling
place.
the movie, Luke.
Yeah, we can start spoiling. It's fine.
Okay, great.
Spoilers
So when
ahead.
they got to Marvel's spaceship and like his family was there, I didn't want to cry or anything, but I really felt, I was like,
I'm not gonna cry.
I said, oh, that's why he was doing all of this. I said, that's so nice.
Yeah.
I like him
He was good.
because he had a purpose.
And even like the alien
Everyone
makeup
else was
wasn't perfect.
selfish.
Like it definitely looked like a mask sometimes, but it was pretty good. Like it wasn't too distracting. It didn't take you out of the movie to see a guy with like a full prosthetic face the whole time.
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah,
Yeah,
it
it was
did.
good.
And I just thought that his character was like an interesting villain. He was like funny a little bit, but not too funny, and he had just this kind of different feel to him, you know.
He was cool.
And then the scrolls
Yeah.
themselves, like the way they change, that was really cool. I thought that was really
Oh,
good.
so wait. So what do you guys think about this? So I totally forgot when I saw the movie who the Kree were. Like I remember thinking like I thought the Kree were the bad guys. Oh, I must have remembered wrong. But then there's a twist. Spoiler.
Who are-
There's a
who are
twist
the
in the
Kree?
movie. Oh, the Kree
The
is
Jude
people
Law's
that
people
Oh,
the people that Captain Marvel was with in the beginning.
captured by, yeah.
So like there's like a plot twist where like she finds out from the Skrull that the Kree are actually evil and the Skrull are good. And well, that's actually a pretty cool plot twist, especially if you don't remember
Yeah.
like the comics.
I
But the
didn't
thing
see
is,
that coming.
she just like hears this alien who's been hunting her down this whole movie say, "Hey, no, wait, don't hurt me. Like you have to actually help me instead because we're the good guys." She's like, "Oh, okay, cool." Like there's no
Well,
wasn't
no,
even, like-
she
she
got,
never
she
even
got,
really questioned
she
him.
got the flashbacks, and then she saw the stuff.
He could,
Here,
like,
here, I'll
your
give you an
memories
example. This is
are-
actually
are
great. This is a-
manipulated by everything all the time. You can't be
Right.
trusted.
This is a great
soldier.
example.
She said
Here's hold
she's
up.
not giving
This-
into her emotions.
This is a great example of how this movie could have done something better. Imagine if for the whole movie she's going after that guy.
Yeah.
She's trying to kill him. Like maybe she thinks that he killed her friend or something, right? And so the
Yeah.
whole movie she's going after him, and then she finally gets him and she's about to kill him. She's like losing it, and then that's when she learns the truth and she has to make a decision. There's this big blow up moment where she needs to control herself, and like there's all this feeling of, oh man, she finally got him. Wait, is he lying? Wait. Oh
Exactly.
no! Like you could have felt something, but none of that's there.
Yeah, there's
nothing.
She
struggle,
wasn't allowed.
really.
She wasn't allowed to have feelings because emotions are weak.
Yeah, but it
Girl,
didn't feel like she was
young
compressing it. It
girl.
just
You
felt like they were
can't be
distinct
weak.
different.
Don't show your emotions. You are strong.
Right? Push him down.
I see what you're saying, Shane.
She wasn't allowed. That's what
That
I'm
makes
saying.
sense, but if you watch the movie, like that's not what you get. You're not like, oh, she's suppressing her emotions right now.
I know. I'm saying
it
that's
seemed like
just what
she
they
was
were going
trying to
with.
express her emotions, but she's just a weird person.
But the director,
No, it was like
the
she
director
had
said,
no.
"No, you're doing too much. You're doing too much."
I never felt like she was holding something back.
No,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, no.
It was never like, it wasn't like, ooh, man, she's got rage. She's got like these emotions that are just trying to come out, and she's doing everything she can
That's
to
how they
hold them
set it
back.
up.
It's like she's just like a machine, and there was
she
no, I
kind
didn't
of
feel
is.
like this is a struggle of hers. It's like, no, it's just, they just told me it was a struggle. I
It
didn't
was just
see
another mission that she was going
Well,
on.
they were setting it up as if she had like a problem with her emotions, and usually in movies, like even if it's like a soldier, if they're struggling internally, they'll like kind of show it like on their face.
You would have
or
shown
like,
it struggling, yeah.
Yeah,
She
but there
didn't
was
struggle.
no struggle. Like there was
She
nothing.
didn't
Well, it's not like every character has to struggle, but it was just like.
I think your
super-
main character should
bleh.
struggle, or why do we care?
Yeah, here's the
Exactly.
thing. I wrote this in my notes. I said, I feel like there are no stakes in this film.
Except
Yeah,
for the scroll guy.
definitely.
That's the only reason he was kind of interesting. But like,
Yeah.
what was she fighting for? What was the world
Her
going to get destroyed? I
memory?
guess
I don't know.
Nothing.
they were going to bomb everything. What
She
were they
was
gonna-
she was fighting
What was the
for
struggle? You know,
she was fighting for information that she was being told by people that she didn't know was true or not.
yeah. And what are the stakes? You know, it's like what happens if she fails? It just didn't feel like there was anything at stake, really.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like when you have, I don't know, like Spider-Man or something. You know, it's like, what happens if you fail? The girl you love dies. That's the stakes. Your aunt and the girl
Yeah,
you love
actually,
both
no,
die.
yeah.
That's the stake. But this, it's like, what's the stake? I don't.
you know
I
the
guess she
issue-
doesn't
the sta-
know. What I guess the characters will get killed. I guess, but you don't really
Yeah.
see.
The stake is,
how?
Luke, I think, and this is also an issue with the movie, now that I'm thinking about it. The stake is that, you know, she has to get to the spaceship before the scrolls do, or that's what she's thinking, or, you know, she's been told there's going to be this big intergalactic war, and since they all happen to be on Earth, you know, the people of Earth are going to be affected. And now you're thinking, well, she's from Earth, so she should care. But they spend the whole movie with her not remembering any part of her life, so she doesn't care
Yeah.
Right.
about anything
And so-
on this planet. So it's like she's not even really fighting for this planet, you know, kind of until the end of the movie, but not even then, really, because she goes to help the scrolls.
Right. If I had a film and I was going to say, this guy's got to get through the woods or the bomb's going to go off. I cut to him on the woods and running and tripping. Then his foot gets caught. Then I cut to the bomb going down. Then I cut back to him and he's running. And then all of a sudden a villain shows up and starts fighting him. And I cut back to the bomb. Time's going down. Oh no, the bomb's going to blow up and your girlfriend's tied to the bomb. Oh man. That's how you show the tension. That's how you invest people in the story.
Yeah.
If I walked up to you and just said, by the way, there's a bomb going to go off and your girlfriend's tied up to it, and then I just showed him going through the woods, it's harder to feel it. Like, you're like, wait, what? They just told me that there are stakes, but I didn't see them. Just like I'm like, oh yeah, I guess the world will get destroyed, I guess. But I didn't feel it. I'm like, what? Nothing. My notes literally say, I said, the editing is so fast. Oof. I feel nothing. This feels like a generic movie. And then I said, what is with this editing? And then it just says, blockbuster. Yes. And then it just says, what's up with the sound editing in the cockpit of the plane? It's all off. Then it just says, this is horrible. This feels like there's no stakes. This film is terrible.
For real.
It was awful. It was so bad.
It was bad. 3
Like,
or 4
we-
out of 5 out of 10.
I just think that we like characters. It doesn't matter if
Yeah.
they're male or female. Like, this is what it's like, a female superhero. I was like, was she interesting? It doesn't. I don't care.
Exactly.
I
I
feel
don't
like she
care
got
if she's
Superman
female or
or
not,
Jesus.
or if she's male. I don't care.
Like, you
For
know,
sure,
like, when
you
there's like a
agree.
really noble hero, like they always make them like really like emotionless. Like, you ever see Jesus in a movie? He's always just walking like without like his head like changing height. He's just like a standing person, just like basically
What?
floating
What?
across the ground. Like, they always either have like really weirdly like super like tender
No-
speech, and
no
emotion,
personality.
or just stoic like, hello, I am goodness and justice in
Yeah.
the world.
And
Like,
I love
that's kind of
everyone, and I'm
what
good.
she was.
It's like
Except she also tried to be funny, and it was
Yeah,
just weird.
but yeah, that's what I'm saying. That would be fine if there was a cast of other characters who were funny around her, but there weren't.
Or if they just stuck to something. They had to be stoic or have to be funny. They try to have it be funny. They even they referenced our humor twice. Like, oh, you're using humor again. It's like, that's not humor. That's just stupid.
That's not humor.
She's telling a joke, but it's just not funny.
What if I said this?
The
Think about this, you
delivery
guys.
is not funny.
If
Just says it.
what if I went back and looked at all the superheroes and was like, what in the world? There's only brown-eyed and blue-eyed superheroes. I don't feel like I need a green-eyed superhero to be relatable to me because I have green eyes and I feel left out. I feel like I'm not represented. It's like, I don't care. It doesn't matter. Just, is it a good character? You know? And so
I
like,
just want to say,
I get like, oh, you know, skin color, race, like ethnicity. Okay, I get it, fine. But it doesn't matter to me. It's like, I need a good movie. And this was not a good movie.
I just want to say, if they really wanted to do this whole feminist thing and have a female lead or whatever, where's Black Widow's movie? Because she's already a badass character who we care for and we know has a great backstory and has emotions and all these things. Where's her movie?
This went out in like a year or something. I heard
Who did you say? Whose movie?
Black Widow.
Oh, Black Widow's movie? Okay.
Oh wait, she's getting a movie?
I guess
That's what I heard,
eventually
yeah.
she is.
Okay.
Movie. But like
Well, she should have got one first. So I hope in Avengers she kicks Captain Marvel's butt. We can do that.
I think
She
she'll
steals her
probably die
powers.
before she
Yes.
like
And then
Captain Marvel's pretty
wins
OP.
Everything.
But yeah.
Man, I just can't believe it. You know, this movie has Rotten Tomatoes can just go away now.
What did
I'm
I
over
say?
it. You
What
know,
is the Rotten
like,
Tomatoes?
So hold up. So Rotten Tomatoes.
You gotta remember all the feminists who made accounts to.
So Rotten Tomatoes gave Black Panther a 97, which is better than The Dark Knight. That's ridiculous.
And you're
This
still
movie
mad.
got a
Agreed.
79.
What? This movie's easily at 32.
Yeah, this movie. I don't get it. Oh,
Well, okay. So as a person who like had no idea what this film was or what it was supposed to be going into it, I didn't really like. I enjoyed watching it for what it was. If I were to compare it to other Marvel movies, it's definitely not like on a high list or high of the list for me. But I thought it was a fine movie like to watch. Like I'm not gonna go watch it again, at least not in theaters. But it was just very lackluster. There's like nothing really happened. Like the action scenes weren't really all that cool. The characters weren't too great. I think I was more watching for information. Like I liked learning about kind of the beginnings of things. Where the Tesseract kind of I guess first came from. I don't know if there's other stuff before that, but
it's just like the whole time. This is rare. The whole
It's
time I was
just like-
watching. The whole time I was watching, I was like, I don't want to be in here. I'm bored of this.
oh really?
I'm done.
I think
I
did
was
you go
so
by
bored.
yourself?
Yeah,
Did you go by
'cause
yourself? Okay. I went with someone and we kind of talked a decent amount through it. So maybe that kind of helped because we were kind of laughing at certain things. But I wasn't like, I kind of just sat there the whole time and just kind of watched. I wasn't ever excited or like hyped up or like anticipating something. I kind of just sat there and watched it. And I was like, okay, that was okay. And then I left.
Right. Yeah, I just. Ugh.
Yeah, I just like I got out of the movie and asked Leanne, I was like, hey, like, did that movie suck or is it just me? She's like, no, that sucked. I was like, all right, cool. So like I was watching with somebody. I watched the whole
You're
thing.
like, did that movie suck or am I just sexist? And
It
it's
was
like,
also long. Like it was unnecessarily long.
it was like 2 hours. Yeah.
It was I'm like
Out of
you
10,
didn't need a
what would you give
score?
it, Shane?
Oh no. I would probably give it like a 5.56, somewhere in that range. And that's just like my overall. If you want to get like on specific things, then it might change. But like overall, watching it the one time, I would give like a 5.5 hyphen 6.
I'm trying to think. I don't know. I don't think there's been a movie I've disliked this much in a long time. You know, like
Really?
because I just was so bored. You know, it felt like a chore. Like watching it felt like a chore to me. I just did not like it at all. You know, and I don't know, like Maybe if I watch it again, it would be different. But I just was so bored. I didn't like it.
Do you
at
think
all.
you were maybe more bored because since you had no real interest to see the movie in the first place, do you think it might have been more boring to you because since no part of it was exciting for you, you had the mindset of, yeah, it's boring like I thought it was. So you already not interested, and then it not being interesting kind of made it more like a not good experience for you.
So I thought about that, but I felt that way about Doctor Strange, and I still, even though that movie kind of is a little bit forgettable, I still enjoyed it, and I still like when I was watching it, I was like, yeah, this is good. This is interesting. This movie's fine, but this one, I just was like, I don't want to be in this. I'm so bored. I'm so bored.
Felt the same like with Ant-Man. I didn't really know much about Ant-Man going in.
I fell asleep.
That movie, I love that movie.
I forgot all of Ant-Man, but I remember being okay watching it. Like, I forgot the whole movie. But I remember when I watched it that it was all right. Like, it was a fine movie. This one, I remember some of it, and it just, I can't say enough. It just did nothing. Absolutely nothing for me.
Yep. Super lame.
Rip. Well.
R.I.P.
Rest in peace.
Also,
Captain Marvel.
I just want to say.
Well, not rest in peace, because she'll be back stronger than ever.
Here's a pro, here's a con.
Where's Nick Fury?
Wait.
A bit. Hello to you too.
You're good. So, pro, I thought that I really liked that one time where like Nick Fury got like hit in the eye or something. I was like, "Oh, is your eye okay?" He's like, "Oh yeah, it's fine."
Oh, goodness
that was really
gracious.
funny. But then,
it's
but
wrong.
then later,
a
cat scratches him, and that's why he has an eye patch.
That's it.
Wow. That's so
I was like, what?
Stupid.
I thought they were gonna do the joke again.
Well, okay, technically,
no,
it's not a cat. It's not a cat.
But still not cool. Like the whole thing was like, you're like, whoa, you're like he says in I think it's in Captain
Civil
America.
War
He's like last time I trusted someone, I lost an eye, or I lost an eye. And you're like, oh man, this is some epic like betrayal story where he was like shooting guns with a bunch of dudes and like he got blown up, but it was awesome. It's like, no, I was just like holding this cat.
I know. I just was like, damn cat scratched his eye out, and you're like, well, now he doesn't have that eye forever, and it's no big deal.
Yeah.
And it's a
He's
dumb
pissed.
cat.
I would be so mad
just
if I got like
oops.
if I like I lost my fingernail one time and I was super pissed. Like this guy loses his eye and he's like, yeah, it's getting better, it's fine.
And then he just is gone forever.
It undercuts all the other scenes in the future, like when he had when they talk about his eye patch, like when I think it's in, dang it.
Well,
Winter Soldier, when at the end of the movie he like is talking to the bad guy who wants to like he has to use his eye to get into a computer. He's like, you gotta keep both eyes open, and he like moves his eye patch and uses that to like unlock the computer or whatever. Like it's just not, everything's not fun anymore.
Yeah, it's like
they ruined
it. See the whole thing about that cat, and I know everyone's gonna love it. I literally saw statuses of everyone being like, my favorite character is Goose.
Oh yeah, the cat. I'm like, come on, chill out.
It was it was like a cool like, what? That's really weird. Okay,
yeah,
because she does have like a weird space cat sidekick or whatever. But like it wasn't like
so
a
hard,
fun character. It was no Groot. That cat was not a Groot.
There was no Groot.
It's trying. It's one of those things where they're trying so hard, and
and
I know it's working, but I'm like,
I don't think it worked at all, dude. Most people like I was on YouTube
this movie's
and, like,
making so
everyone's
much
saying
money.
it's bad.
yeah, it did make a lot of money.
But they don't care, Michael. They care about
like,
making the money.
First weekend money like doesn't ever like.
They made more money
because everyone who's seen it hasn't had time to find out that it's bad.
They made more money second weekend than they did first weekend.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Well, shoot.
Yeah.
They're making that money.
Yeah, it's making a lot of
It's
money.
just lame. It was.
And that's what they care about.
Some kid said earlier today that they thought that Captain Marvel was the best Marvel movie yet. I was like, what the heck?
Who said
Boy,
that?
sit down. This kid on Leanne's swim team.
Well, they're a kid, Michael. What do you expect?
Stupid child.
Wow, kids are dumb.
They probably haven't seen the other ones.
And he's like, it turns out he actually saw Infinity War and he just didn't know.
Yeah. Dude, Infinity War comes out in like 3 weeks.
Endgame.
It's so insane. It feels so soon.
On the 26th.
It does.
I
was actually
keep calling
talking
it
about
Infinity
that.
War 2.
I will fight anyone who ever says that, but I actually fought someone who did say that. But
Say what?
who called the movie Infinity War 2. I'm like, the first one is clearly called Infinity War, singular. There's no second war. There's no second war. It ended. He snapped his fingers. It's done. Okay, we're in Endgame now. Stupid title, but we're in Endgame now.
I just don't like taglines on films.
Yeah. Oh,
You
I
know, it's
cringed
like-
hard. Yeah.
When they're like, oh no, this isn't Pacific Rim 2. This is Pacific Rim Darkness that comes out of the... And you're like, what? No, dude, it's the second movie. Don't make this difficult. And then the nerds are like, no, actually the name of the... Shut up. Just make it a number. It gets too hard to tell which one's the sequel after a while. Sometimes when movies have too many,
Yeah,
and then all of a
you're
sudden you're like, wait, which one is this? Like
kinda how it is
Fast
with
and
Avengers.
Furious.
Yeah.
Fast and Furious, the Fast and the Furious, Fast and Furious Super thing. And you're like, what? Which one's which? I don't know what number this is.
What year is it?
Yeah. So yeah, okay, that's our review for Captain Marvel.
Our verdict? It's
Is there any- yeah, 0. Awful. Yeah, I would say it's probably like a 3 for me, a 3 or 4. It literally was like my least enjoyable
you
Marvel
give it
movie
a 3,
ever.
I'll give it a 4. That'll even it out.
Yeah,
That works.
it was. I don't know. Maybe I need to watch it again, but
No. I mean,
You need to not watch it in 3D. You probably
the
just
3D ruined it. What
you
did
were
we
just so, like-
determine in this episode? That 3D ruins movies.
Captain Marvel would have been so good if it was in 2D. Should have made it a side scroller.
Ooh.
Yes. So, anything else you guys want to add on to this before we wrap up this episode?
I mean, I'm glad that there's like a cool like female superhero that actually has like mega sweet powers. Cause they have Scarlet Witch.
Yeah,
she's pretty
Wonder
cool.
Woman.
I do want to ask Luke. Yeah,
I mean, in Marvel.
wanna-
No.
Like it's always good to have like more like stuff.
Yeah.
I would
So-
love to see Captain Marvel and Thor fight.
I don't appreciate
That's what I
things
want.
just to appreciate them. It's like I don't appreciate it because it wasn't good.
You're right.
It's like,
I was
dude,
wrong. I
I'm
was
so
wrong.
glad,
It's
glad
stupid.
that someone invented a pie with apples in it or something. You know, I don't know what I'm saying.
Well,
but
that's
it's
actually
just like,
amazing.
yeah, I know. But like, what if it
Can't
was
compare
sucked?
Captain Marvel to apple pie.
But what if the apple pie was horrible? You're like, oh, well,
You're right.
mean-
You're right. I take it back. You actually are right, Luke.
You take
I'm
it
sad that they
back.
ruined a potentially good role model for a young woman.
Well, I wanted to ask Luke, what difference? Because I haven't seen Wonder Woman yet, but what difference makes you like Wonder Woman over this?
between Wonder Woman and this, I don't know. I just thought that I felt something. I felt Wonder Woman was sort of like a coming of age story. I thought it was kind of interesting because she's so young and innocent, and she wants to like, I'm gonna save the world. I gotta fight the evil guy, and I'm gonna save the world. That's it. That's what I'm gonna do. And then at the very end, it's like, actually, this is what you're trying to save. These people, look how awful they are. This is what you're trying to do. And then it was kind of like realizing that the world is awful and that people suck and that everyone's evil and that it's not just good versus evil. It's like you're trying to save these people, but they don't even like you and they're horrible. And so I thought that was such an interesting twist. I liked her character. She was likable. She was funny. Just a better movie, you know? I felt something.
Okay.
So that's my deconstruction. So
Yeah.
plugs.
Sad.
Shayne.
Yes. So you can check out my podcast, the Pop Talk Podcast. We talk about music and music related activities. And you can follow us on SoundCloud at Pop Talk. We're on iTunes, Pop Talk Podcast. And then you can follow us on Instagram, pop_talk_. And then, so my Instagram, Mr. McCatty, MRMCCATTY. And then I have the link to our Hutchins Farm performance from the festival. So really hype about that. So if you want to see that link is on my Instagram. Boom.
Boom. Shakalaka.
All right, Michael.
Yeah. Follow me on Instagram, Michael Demas, MYKOLDIMAS, to see all the things that I'm doing. I got some music things coming your way, so just go there and you'll see it.
All right, you can follow me on Instagram at Luke Roxwold. That's LukeRockswold. I've been posting a lot of pictures lately, and I have this lens that I'm going to start trying out for kind of a different feel. So a lot of new pictures coming soon. That's it. You can follow us on Instagram at WAITSB Podcast. That's where all of our polls, pictures, memes, messages, and everything else that you can use to talk to us. That's where that all is. So follow us on there. Once again, WAITSB Podcast on Instagram. Guys, thanks for listening. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode. Don't at me because you like this movie. Just kidding. Actually,
At
go for it
him.
because
At
I'll
him right
debate,
now.
whatever. I got been in 3 debates already today.
Come on, Brie Larson, fight
Three
Luke
debates
on the
today.
podcast. Let's bring Brie Larson
Just
on
say
the
what
podcast.
I think. All right, guys. Thanks for listening, guys. And outro music.